Hey everyone, welcome to Global Academy Institute Technology Foundation Incorporated. Our topic for second quarter week 3 is perpetuation of life, reproduction. Reproduction is the biological process by which new individual organisms, offsprings, are produced from their parents. Reproduction is a fundamental feature of all known life. Each individual organism exists as the result of reproduction. There are two forms of reproduction, asexual and types of reproductions. There are basically two types of reproduction, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction refers to the type of reproduction in which only a single organism gives rise to a new individual. Asexual reproduction does not involve the fusion of gametes, and therefore the offsprings produced are genetically identical to the parent. The organisms produced by asexual reproductions are less diverse in nature. This type of reproduction is practiced widely by unicellular organisms. Binary fission. In this, the cell splits into two, each cell carrying a copy of the DNA from the parent cell. For example, amoeba. Budding. In this, a small bud-like outgrowth gives rise to a new individual. The outgrowth remains attached to the organisms until it is fully grown. It detaches itself as lives as an individual organism, for example, hydra. Fragmentation. In this, the parent organism splits into several parts and each part grows into a new individual. Sporogenesis. In this type of reproduction, a new organism grows from the spores. This can be created without fertilization and can spread through wind and animals. Sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction is a type of reproduction that involves the production of an offspring by the fusion of male and female gametes. In sexual reproduction, male and female gametes are formed to produce an offspring. These gametes are either formed by the same individual or by different individuals of the opposite sex. This process is usually slow and complex compared to asexual reproduction. The organisms so produced are genetically diverse. Thus, they can evolve along with the changing climatic conditions. Humans and many multicellular organisms exhibit a sexual mode of reproduction. Plants reproduce by sexual and asexual means. Vegetative reproduction is the main mode of plant reproduction. Roots, such as a corm, stem tuber, rhizomes, and stolon undergo vegetative propagation. Sexual reproduction in plants takes place through pollination, in which the pollen grains from the anther of a male flower transfer to the stigma of the female flower. Few plants produce seeds without fertilization, and the process is called apomixis. Here, the ovary gives rise to new. Reproduction in animals. The animal kingdom is as diverse as the plant kingdom, particularly in terms of how they reproduce. Majority of animals reproduce sexually, but lower forms reproduce via sexual reproduction. Animals reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of male and female gametes. This process is known as fertilization. Fertilization can be external or internal. Asexual reproduction involves reproduction processes such as binary, fission, budding, fragmentation, etc. The organisms have no reproductive systems and therefore no formation of male and female gametes takes place. Reproductive organs. The male reproductive organs comprise a pair of testes, sperm ducts, and a penis. The sperms are produced by the testes. The sperms are very small in size with a head, a middle piece, and a tail. The female reproductive organs comprise a pair of ovaries, oviducts, and the uterus. The eggs or ova are produced by the ovaries. The development of the baby takes place in the uterus. A mature egg is released into the oviduct every. The fertilization that takes place inside the body of the female is known as internal fertilization. For example, humans, cows, dogs, etc. This method is more prevalent in terrestrial animals. However, some aquatic animals also adopt this method. Oviparity. The fertilized eggs are laid outside where they receive nourishment from the yolk. Ovoviviparity. The fertilized eggs are retained in the female's body where they receive nourishment from the yolk. The eggs are laid right before they Viviparity, the offsprings are born directly instead of hatching from the eggs. They receive nutrition from the mother. This can be seen in mammals. External fertilization. The fertilization that takes place outside the female is called external fertilization. Embryo development. The zygote divides repeatedly to form a ball of cells. This is known as the developing embryo. These cells differentiate into respective tissues. Binary fission, it is seen in amoeba and euglena. The parent cell undergoes mitosis and increases in size. Budding. In this, the offspring grows out of the body and parent. It remains attached to the parent until it matures. Fragmentation. In some organisms, like planarians, when the body of an organism breaks into several pieces, each piece grows into an individual offspring. This is known as fragmentation. Regeneration. It is a modified form of fermentation and occurs mostly in Echinoderms. When a part of an organism, like an arm, detaches from the parent body, it grows into a completely new individual. Parthenogenesis. This is a form of asexual reproduction where the egg develops without fertilization. Thank you for listening and God bless.